Hello, welcome to our webinar about communication management, digital learning teams, and audiovisual media documentary film. I am Doris. I work as an international marketing specialist here at Tallinn University, and I will start off by telling briefly about Estonia, Tallinn University overall, and then I will give the floor to my colleagues who will tell you in more detail about the programs. Afterwards, you will hear more about admission and student life here in Tallinn. So first of all, Estonia, a small country in Europe, a really small country, next to Latvia, Russia, and across the bay from Finland. We have an area of approximately 45,000 square kilometers. So, as I said, we are a really small country with a population of 1.3 million people. Our capital is Tallinn. Tallinn University is located in the capital city, and we have a population here around with 400,000. The currency is euro, like in most of the countries which belong to the European Union. Additionally to the European Union, we also belong to the Schengen area, so we have open borders with the rest of Europe and also to NATO. Our official language is Estonian, but English and Russian are also widely spoken here. We are an e-country, we are an e-society. We have e-voting, e-parking, e-banking, name it. We have Wi-Fi access almost everywhere, and of course, a part we're really proud of is that Skype was developed by Estonian engineers. Moving to Estonia, for EU citizens, it is easy. You will come here, and in 3 months, you need to register as a citizen of Tallinn and get the right of temporary residence. For non-EU citizens, first you need to be admitted to the university. We will send you a confirmation letter, and then you need to go to the nearest embassy and apply for a visa and a temporary residence permit for study. You can get more information about the visa process and the residence permit if you go to politsei.ee or vm.ee. The last one is the website of our Ministry of Foreign Affairs. A lot of our students ask whether or not they can work while they study in Estonia. The answer is yes, you can work. You even can work full-time, but you have to be sure that you also manage to study full-time. You can go to ask institutes some internship possibilities where possibility career will be the outcome, or you can go to our career and counseling center and ask advice from there. If you go to workinestonia.com, there you can find all the necessary information about working in Estonia, and there are also a lot of job offers that you can already look at. So overall introduction to Tallinn University as well. We are the third largest public university in Estonia. Tallinn University, as it is today, is a rather young university. We were established in 2005, but actually the history dates back. In 2005, we started under the name of Tallinn University. At the moment, we have approximately 9,000 students studying here on MA, BA, and PhD level, among whom around 900 are foreign students. This 900 makes up of the degree students and exchange students. We have more than 600 degree students studying here from foreign countries. Most of our international students come from Finland, but then from Russia, from Latvia, Lithuania, Ukraine, Georgia, and so on. We have approximately 1,000 staff members, among whom approximately 9% are foreign academics, which means that the international experience is guaranteed by the professors as well. We have around 250 partner universities, so when you come here to study, and at one point you decide to go abroad for a semester or a year, you have a variety of universities to choose among. And at the moment, we have 8 units here at Tallinn University. We have a leading role in promoting and developing an intelligent lifestyle here in Estonia. And as a result, we have directed our resources and activities into 5 broad focus fields. So all the teaching, research, everything is done in those 5 broad focus fields, which are educational innovation, cultural competences, society and open governance, digital and media culture, and healthy and sustainable lifestyle. Here at Tallinn University, we believe in individual approach to students. By that, I mean that our courses are rather small, so the students always have the possibility to discuss different topics with the professors, different matters. We believe in interdisciplinarity, which means cooperation between different disciplines. Our university, our campus has a very favorable location. We are located right in the heart of the city center. Our old town, which belongs to the UNESCO World Heritage, is only 10 minutes walk away. Harbor, just 5 minutes walk away. Also, the bus station and airport are close by. Today, we have a quite modern campus. The last buildings were built in 2012, so our facilities include everything necessary for studying, research, and even filmmaking. For example, here we even have our own cinema hall where students could go and watch films for free. Now a few words about Baltic Film Media Arts and Communication School, which is one of the units of Tallinn University. BFM has around 1,100 students studying there each semester. Around 120 of them are international students from 40 different countries worldwide. BFM has a lot of partner universities, more than 70 in Europe and in Asia. What BFM differs is that they believe in learning by doing. They believe in practical approach, which means that when you study there, you really gain the practical experience and learn by doing practical projects. BFM has everything, as I already said, everything necessary for audiovisual media, documentary filmmaking, feature filmmaking, and so on. There are modern video and sound equipment, their own TV studio, film studio, editing rooms. BFM provides all the students with necessary technical support with cameras, with post-production equipment, and so on. But now I will give the floor to my colleague Anastasia, who will tell you in more detail about communication management program.
Okay. Hello. I'm Anastasia Zabrodska. I'm professor of Estonian as a second language, and I'm a head of communication management master program. So, if to introduce communication management program, then it offers very different subjects that all focus, of course, on communication management. And the general aim is to provide knowledge of modern communication theories, methods, and applications. And what is also important that our staff members are international with their international experiences and also local experiences here in Estonia. And they all try to bring students closer to the real experience of jobs. And this communication management program is something more than just communicating with people, because it also offers different perspectives, modes, and means of communication. And it analyzes in depth the fundamental role of communication and helps to explain the process of communication. What is especially interesting about this program is that it has its special focus, and its special focus is on intercultural communication. And this communication is not only between people with diverse or different cultural background, but also among people of different age, gender, coming from different social classes. So we live in the era of globalization, where it's really important to talk about our society in terms of different identities, different cultures, and mixtures of these identities and cultures. Here you see an example of courses that are offered under the specialization model in intercultural communication. And as you see here that we talk a lot about cultural differences, we also look at these different aspects of intercultural communication. Of course, the main pattern is intercultural communication as communication between different cultures, but we also talk about communication between different people having different age, background, social class, and so on and so on. And here we have a new subject that was introduced only last autumn, super diversity and intercultural communication, because when we look at the nowadays Europe and European Union, then we cannot talk about diversity any longer, but we should talk about super diversity. We have very great mixture of different identities and societies that all live in one super diverse society. And our aim is to prepare students to work at the international level and to be very competent professionals, and to offer opportunities at the highest levels of academic studies. Also, we aim to develop the skills to cope successfully with particular tasks. Who are our students? And actually, if you aim to become such a student on the master level, then you are welcome to join the communication management program. So we try to teach our students to become creative thinkers, to be able to produce innovative solutions, to handle different challenges, also to be connected in community development projects. And also we have Erasmus experience, so that gives an opportunity for our students to live abroad. Currently, if you are finishing your bachelor degree, then don't worry if you don't receive your bachelor in the communication field, because you will be provided an opportunity to pass the leveling model of 12 ECTS, and then you will be able to study communication management on master level. So, and you can pass this leveling model during the first autumn semester as soon as you start your communication management studies on the master level. And level B2 in English is required to begin studies in English, and you will definitely should have acquired level C1 by the time you will finish the English program. What are the skills that I acquired during the studies? Competency in corporate communications and professional interaction at an international level, and also the ability to be innovative, to handle special professional tasks, to deal with complicated situations, and what is more important, to conduct research in the field of communication management in general. And if you would like to concentrate yourself on intercultural communication, then intercultural communication in particular, and also to apply research results to real-life challenges. As for the future career, then actually there are so many possibilities for those people who have acquired communication management competence, because we have a lot of environments that are multicultural and develop very, very quickly. So skilled specialists in communication management in ministries are needed, and both in the national and European Union levels. And also such specialists are needed at all levels of educational organizations and in research and science institutions, in international networks. And also you can always work as an interdisciplinary expert in working groups. You can always cooperate in different international projects where communication management professionals are needed. One of the most exciting aspects about the communication management program is that it is a part of European Masters in Intercultural Communication, and this is a teaching and research network of 10 European universities. And here on the slide you see the list of other universities connected. As you see, different countries are involved, starting from Germany and UK and going to Finland, Portugal, Switzerland, France, Poland, Italy, the Netherlands. And what is especially interesting about this AMIC, the core of it is the yearly Eurocampus. And what is that? It's a 4-month intensive program taught by professors from this network universities that I have just named, and in which up to 5 students from each partner university can take part. And during this intensive program, students learn about intercultural communication theories, consider intercultural communication from different perspectives of academic disciplines, and also, what is more important, that they learn very practical way to achieve intercultural competences, because they study in a very multicultural groups, as you can imagine, coming from different universities. And they are also taught by professors coming from different universities. And Eurocampus has been held since 2002 in different universities that belong to this network, but 2016 Eurocampus will take place this autumn at the Tallinn University Baltic Media Arts and Communication School. So those students who will enter the communication management program will be able to take part of that. And nominal duration of study is 2 years, and you can study here in a cycle learning. So it means that usually we start our lectures starting from 5 p.m. and this gives you an opportunity to find job and to have this paid the costs that are 1,800 euros per semester. And of course, here you see my email. So if you have any questions about the program or the communication management program, anything that you are interested in, how we handle different challenges here that are connected with the program itself, with our students. And if you would like to study here, please don't hesitate to contact me. And now I invite my colleague, Martin, to continue the conversation here. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Martin Zilauts, and I'm a teacher of serious games. And I have a chance to introduce you a curriculum of designing learning games. So shortly, this is a 2 years long international master's program. International means that the study language is English. And well, the cost per semester is 2,500 euros. But the starting point for this curriculum was the idea to combine games and education. So games are something that are here to stay, and the gaming industry is still growing. So making games is quite new and hot topic in the ICT field. And our idea is to combine playing games with education. So let's say it's just for activity, just not activity for pure fun, but also for some serious purpose. And when we combine games and education, then new promising fields can be defined, like game-based learning, designing learning or serious games, and also gamification. So it means that during this curriculum, we integrated different fields of study and different practical approaches, like conceptual game design, art, teaching, psychology, storytelling, and also ICT. So it means that this kind of curriculum should be provided by different schools from our university. So it is taught by Baltic Film and Media School, the School of Educational Sciences, School of Digital Technologies, and the School of Natural Science and Health is taking care of the psychological part of game design and development. Our general idea here is to bring together people with different backgrounds, like ICT, pedagogy, art, and design, and make some nice teams and design and develop educational games in collaboration. So our study is built up in different modules. So the first general module for all our students is called game design. So this is focusing on the game design process and going through all game design elements like providing idea and also designing game prototypes. And then the students can choose, do they focus on interaction design, that is mainly about ICT part of the game design, or to psychology and didactics. And this is investigation how to use games in teaching process, or how to make those game challenges more engaging. And finally, the final thesis is usually practical projects where the students have to cover a different part of game analysis and game design and game execution. So yeah, the study is organized in interdisciplinary workshops. Usually the work is conducted in as a teamwork, and as I explained, we try to make as heterogeneous teams as possible. So let's say you have one programmer, one artist, one storyteller, one teacher in your team. And yeah, our aim is, of course, also to design and to develop smaller games in teamwork. But we also organize cooperation with other schools. So, for example, if the outcome of this teamwork is not a working game product, then this can be a specification or a game concept, and the programmers we can have from Institute of Digital Technologies. Yeah, and usually the study process is very engaging and very fun. Here, example, you can see our students to design and testing game paper prototypes. So let's say it was very hot topic and interesting study process, because we spent a lot of time and had a lot of fun while playing other games produced by fellow students. In general, the outcome can be, of course, focusing on designing learning games. So officially, we can say that we are expecting you to be a serious game designer. But it's, let's say, the design of commercial games and entertaining games is quite similar to serious and learning games. So also, commercial game designer can be the expected outcome during this course. But also we are inviting teachers and people who are interested in using games in study process. So let's say instructional designers can be also the outcome of current curriculum. So if you have any additional questions, please contact with us or just ask them now in the chat area. Here you can see the contact information of this curriculum. And I hope you will be joining with us and you are interested in participating in designing learning games. But now I will hand over the floor to Riho.
Hello, my name is Riho Västik. I am the Associate Professor of Documentary Studies, and I am to introduce you documentary model. Although it is called Audiovisual Media Documentary, Film and Television, we are currently planning to open this year only documentary model, not television this year. This is a biannual course. It is a 2-year MA creative documentary course based on practice rather than theory. The course curator is myself, and I'm assisted by a very well-known documentary filmmaker, Kersti Uibo. She is a graduate of National Film and Television School from London. We both are practicing filmmakers. I've done almost 20 films as a director and half more as a producer. And Kersti has done as much as myself, and also she's very experienced lecturer whose master classes have been in US, India, and everywhere in Europe. So I would ask myself a few basic questions and try to find the answers to them. In what way is the course distinctive? The focus is on the creative documentary filmmaking process, encouraging filmmakers to find their own distinctive film language and style. Studies will develop the ability to express independent ideas through sound and moving images rather than by the kind of journalistic approach that relies on a commentator to give an information. Experiments and the synthesis of various documentary genres is encouraged. What kind of subjects does the syllabus cover? Documentary directing forms the core of the syllabus. There are practical filmmaking masterclasses as well as theoretical subjects like history of documentary and documentary studies. The course begins with the basic information to filmmaking skills, camera, sound, and editing. The syllabus is integrated with a visual anthropology course. Visual anthropology students will join the documentary students, and documentary students will attend some visual anthropology syllabus. What kind of students with what kind of background might be interested in the program? We are looking for artistic, self-reflective, and socially aware students interested in audiovisual storytelling and film language. Of course, we would prefer if you have already filmmaking background on BA level, but it's not obligatory. Our practice has shown that students coming from art background can manage as successful as the ones who come from filmic background. What are the practical skills that students acquire during their studies? Students will experience the whole process of documentary filmmaking, from the birth of an idea through research till completing a documentary film, and share all tasks of practical filmmaking in small film crews. Basically, we have 4 semesters, and you will do 1 short documentary in every semester. So first just semester films, not that ambitious maybe, but the final thesis film is usually around 30-minute documentary, creative documentary. For what sort of work will the course prepare students after they graduate? This is a very good question, because teaching documentary art or teaching art today is a privilege. It's somehow not that practical as TV journalism, but our students can work as independent filmmakers, documentary film critics, or participate in the work of a documentary film production team. Or our graduates are able to teach documentary filmmaking at BA level. And also our graduates have made quite a successful festival circulation. Just to mention our last year graduate Nora Sarak, whose short documentary Two Lights has already won a number of awards in different international festivals, and is still continuing the circulation. And what is most exciting about this program? It is an international course in which students of various backgrounds influence one another and together expand the boundaries of independent thinking. Situated as it is on the border of the EU and Nordic countries and Russia, Estonia is ideally placed to stimulate students to draw from these cultures as well as from their own, and to share the adventure of filmmaking. So as you saw, I didn't use a lot of slides because creative documentary filmmaking is always very personal approach. It requires a lot of talent. And if you feel that you have that kind of talent and ambition to make that kind of film, then we welcome you here in BFM to the only English documentary course in the region. Thank you very much, and I will invite Doris back to tell more.
So in case you have any questions about the documentary program, you can write directly to them at documentary@tlu.ee. So a few words about scholarships and study allowances. One option is to have a scholarship from Estonian government, Estonian National Scholarship Program. The scholarship is 350 euros per month. And the deadline for applying for the scholarship is 31st of March. You can find more information about that scholarship at studyestonia.ee. There are also study allowances at Tallinn University. For that, you already need to be a student here at Tallinn University and be present here. There's one option to have a needs-based study allowance for students from financially disadvantaged backgrounds. This allowance is 75 up to 220 euros per month. You only have to apply once, and throughout the studies, you will get the allowance. Other allowance is study allowance based on study results, which is 100 euros per month. And for that allowance, you need to apply each semester again. And if you have a good average grade, then most probably you will get the allowance. So about the admission requirements now. First of all, keep in mind the deadlines. For non-EU students, the deadline for applying is 15th of April. For EU students, citizens and applicants from Turkey, Russia, Ukraine and Georgia, it is 1st of June. First of all, you need to go to estonia.dreamapply.com and fill in the online application form there. Then you need to pay the application fee, which is 80 euros. And after that, you need to send by post the online application cover from DreamApply. It has to be printed and signed. And a bachelor's degree certificate and transcript of records. And translation is also requested if the documents are not in English. And both of the copies and translations need to be attested by a notary. So after filling in the online application, paying the application fee, you need to send those documents by post. After that, you need to prove your English proficiency. You need to have English proficiency at least on B2 level in order to study here. One option is to prove your English with the most well-known tests as IELTS or TOEFL, or another option is to carry out the test here at Tallinn University as well. After that, you need to upload to the DreamApply system your copy of the identification page of your passport and receipt of payment of the application fee. Some countries have also country-specific requirements. For those, please go to tlu.ee/admissions and see whether or not for your country there are any specific requirements or not. After you have done all that, you need to pass also the program-specific requirements. The program-specific requirements differ from program to program. For digital learning games, you need to send to us your CV, letter of motivation, and an interview will be done. You do not have to be present here in Estonia for the interview. It can be done via Skype. So those are the requirements. For communication management, you need to send to us your letter of motivation, and also an interview will be conducted with you. For audiovisual media documentary film, there are a bit more requirements. First of all, you need to send us your CV, again, letter of motivation, and also your portfolio. In your portfolio, you need to send to us the best examples of your creative works, for example, photos, videos, clips, essays, even poems or scripts, what you feel you have done really well. After that, an interview will be done also via Skype, and a creative assignment will be given to you. This is usually a visual story to assess your creative potential as well. So after you have done all those requirements, then it will be decided if you will be a student of Tallinn University or not. Hopefully, of course, you will be a student at Tallinn University. So a few words about the student life here as well. We have our own student union under which there are different organizations where our students can be take part of the activities or organizing of the activities. We have our international club, which holds events for international students, ESN Tallinn for exchange students. We even have our own student TV that broadcasts the latest news. We have cultural clubs, different sports clubs, photo club, cultural collectives like choirs, orchestras, our own cafe, and even a childcare. So about the accommodation. Tallinn University has its own dormitory that is just around the corner of main campus. Those two photos you see here are photos of Tallinn University dormitory. So it looks really nice. There are double rooms for the price of 170.50 euros per month. Also, there's Chief Forest dormitory that's pretty close by. There are double and single rooms for the students for the price of 180 and 360 euros. Also, a Deco dormitory where there are double and single rooms for the price of 550 and 300 euros. Of course, there's always a possibility to rent an apartment with your friends or with your course mates, and as in every country, every town, the prices vary a lot. If you would like to know more about the accommodation, see the photos of the dormitories, please go to tlu.ee/housing. There you can see more information. So approximate living costs here in Tallinn are about 300 up to 500 euros. That does not include the accommodation. Here are a few examples. For example, a student meal is 3 up to 7 euros, usually 3.50 here. Public transport is free of charge for residents of Tallinn. Theatre tickets 12 to 18 euros, concert tickets 8 to 30, and so on. So a few words about also our Tallinn Summer and Winter School. Now we told you about degree programs, but we also have short courses at Tallinn Summer and Winter School. They are 3-week-long programs. Summer school is in July from 11th to 29th. Winter school is in January. During the summer school, for example, you have the possibility to take a course in your own short film to learn more about filmmaking, or in design of serious games to learn more about digital games. Usually during summer school, we have around 350 participants from around the world. During winter school, much less, because during the summertime, there are a lot more different courses. Additional to different courses, we offer also a cultural program for the participants, where the participants can go to museums, field trips outside of Tallinn. The registration for this year's summer school is already opened. So if you go to summerschool.tlu.ee, you can find a course that interests you and already register. So a few words about our campus, our main campus here in the city center as well. All the names of the building, all the names are in Latin, so our students can know where they have to go, and they will represent certain traditions to Tallinn University. Endeavour building, this is the oldest building of Tallinn University. There all the students graduate, for example. Astra is the newest addition to Tallinn University. It was finished in 2012. There were different laboratories. Silva is also known as the language building. Nova houses BFM. So Nova is the building where there are the TV studios, film studios, sound editing rooms, and also the cinema hall. So everything that is needed for filmmaking. Ursa, there people study fine arts. And Mare, there are different classrooms and different institutes are located there. Here are a few photos of our facilities. And what I suggest you to do, in case you have any questions about life in Estonia, life in Tallinn, about Tallinn University, and most importantly, about the study program, you can ask from our student ambassadors. If you go to tlu.ee/ambassadors, there each English-based program has their own representative, and you can write to them and ask what they think about their studies, what they suggest, and so on. And last but not least, what I suggest you to do is to follow us in social media to keep up with our latest doings. Okay, seems that we are done. So thank you for participating in our webinar. In case you have any more questions, feel free to write at admissions@tlu.ee. So thank you for participating. Bye-bye.